If you want to ace all of your exams and get a GPA that's higher than 3.8 next semester, then this is the video you need to watch. Last semester, I got a 4.0 GPA while studying no more than 2 hours a day or 14 hours a week, and in this training, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to get the same thing. If you don't know me, my name is Seba and my mission is to make learning fun again. Now subscribe and let me know if you have any questions for me. Now let me give you an example for the first point. Let's say you're a soccer player, alright? Or a player of any kind of sports. And as a player, you just don't train only the night before the game. You have the preseason, you have like the midweek trainings. You train basically the whole year for a couple of games. And you train and there's no reward. Now the same thing applies to college, to exams. You don't just study the night before the exam and expect to ace the exam and get a good grade. That's not how it works really. You need to have a plan and you need to be consistent and build momentum. Now I'm gonna ask my editor to put a picture with what I call the learning curve, and as you're gonna see, after you learn something there's gonna be a downwards curve and you're gonna start forgetting things. That's normal, that's how everyone works. But with the spaced repetition technique, if you learn every single day, as the learning curve goes down, you learn again, down again. And that's how you maintain, the knowledge. As I mentioned, you don't have to study for 10 hours a day. You just have to study 2 hours a day, and that works for all of your classes, alright? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to study every single day for 2 hours. Make it in your calendar, make it a block of time, and that's what you do every single day. Now the second thing I want to share with you, which was crucial in me getting that 4.0, is that I focused on the 80-20 rule. And let me explain to you what the 80-20 rule means by giving you an example with my math class last semester. So we had these exams, right? We had to do the homework, do the exam and stuff like that. It was a bunch of things in the syllabus, and at first sight it was something like overwhelming. But after the first test, I kind of got the idea that he was giving us like sample tests before every test, and the test was kind of the same thing like the sample test, right? So you didn't have to spend a whole time studying the whole notebooks and your notes and stuff like that. If you focused on the past papers, like the samples that he gave you, you could get like an A easy just by doing that, like learning the patterns, learning the questions, kind of how they were put to you. So the 80-20 rule means you focus on the 20% that gives you the 80% results. So in this case it was doing the past papers before the test, doing the samples, and that worked very well for me. So I want you to do the same thing, because if you check the syllabus, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be a lot of stuff they want from you, but you only have to learn in the first couple of weeks what they really want, what is important, and you then just focus on those things. Because if you were to read that whole textbook a couple of times and do everything they tell you to do, it's going to take more time, but it's useless. It doesn't bring more benefits. The last thing I want to tell you, and I promise you this is such an unfair advantage I'm giving you right now, I don't want you to ever cram again. So look into my eyes, promise me you're not going to cram again, because that's the biggest mistake you could ever do. And don't tell me like a couple of times it works, because it didn't work. You just remember some stuff you learned from the class. But I'm telling you, if you start cramming, you're gonna make it a habit. You're gonna start leaving everything on the last day. You're gonna learn before the deadline. You're gonna prepare for the test before the deadline. And it's like I mentioned, you don't prepare for a game the night before the game. You prepare and you train every single day of the season. That's how you get results. But if you start cramming, you're gonna build a habit. It's gonna be like smoking cigarettes. It's gonna be very hard to get rid of it, and I don't want you to do that. I want you to start and being consistent every single day, 2 hours a day, study, and that's gonna bring you results. Now I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, but I want to remind you that nothing's gonna change after this video if you don't take action. So here's 3 things I want you to do. First thing I want you to do is I want you to set in your schedule 2 hours a day for studying, and that's only when you're gonna study every single day. It's gonna be 14 hours a week. Second thing, I want you to use the 80-20 rule, learn the patterns, learn what's important and focus on those. And the third thing, I don't want you to ever cram before a class or exam. It doesn't work, it's gonna make you worse in the long term. Before you go, subscribe to this channel and leave a question with any topic you want me to discuss about. And as always, don't forget this: win your mornings and conquer your days.